On Monday, the 11th of May, HS2 Limited announced who would design and deliver the Train Maintenance Facility and Network Integrated Control Centre, or NICC, located at Washwood Heath, to the northeast of Birmingham. The £856 million contract was awarded to a joint venture consisting of Taylor Woodrow Infrastructure and Oros Rail. The joint venture will design and construct the depot facility, which will consist of a 320 metre long main maintenance depot building that will have 9 roads able to accommodate 200 metre long Class 895 high-speed trains. A wheel lathe building will also be constructed alongside the main depot. The external overnight stabling area will have 16 400 metre long roads, capable of accommodating 32 200 metre long units. At the far western end of the depot, there will be 2 train wash facilities and an automatic vehicle inspection building. The AVI building will be used to conduct initial inspections of the trains as they enter the depot. The train washes and AVI will be to the west of Aston Church Road, so not technically within Washwood Heath. There will be an additional building which will be used by the drivers, train crews and cleaners. This building will be connected to the stabling area by a subway, leading to the stabling platforms. Each platform, which will be accessible by lift or stairs, will service 2 of the roads. The reason for constructing the subway is to make the depot as safe as possible. This will be crucial, as it is still a plan to use automatic train operation, or ATO, within the stabling area. This is in line with current plans to use ATO on the main line between London and the West Midlands. The Washwood Heath site will also be home to the Network Integrated Control Centre. From there, around 100 workers will manage the day-to-day operation of the railway, utilising state-of-the-art monitoring technology which will provide real-time information about the trains and railway systems. As things stand, HS2 Limited and TWA JV are working on the basis that the depot will be used to maintain and stable 200 metre long HS2 trains. And there is no indication at this time that there are any plans to modify the depot design to accommodate units longer than 200 metres. I've spoken before about why longer trains would be required due to Rishi Sunak's decision to cancel a northern section of HS2. I won't be touching on the reason in this video, but keep an eye out for videos from myself and Michael from Network News, which will cover the subject of train lengths, the ramifications of Sunak's decision, and possible solutions in more detail. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss those videos. I'll also leave a link to Network News in the description below. With regards to Washwood Heath and longer trains, as I understand it, the depot building will be limited to servicing 200 metre long units. Schedule 17 Powers provided broad approval for the depot and outlined the external appearance and footprint. The CG renders should therefore be representative of what will be constructed. A significant design change to increase the footprint to accommodate longer trains would require further permissions to be sought, so it's perhaps looking less likely that the rolling stock order will be modified to include longer trains. The detailed design phase hasn't begun yet, but I imagine it will begin in earnest now that the contract has been signed. This will focus on the design of the systems and structures within the building, the subway and the platforms. The tracking systems for the mainline connection and stabling area will be delivered separately by the tracking systems contractors. It's anticipated that construction of the depot will begin in 2028, following the completion of the detailed designs. It may come as a surprise that construction of the depot will have to wait for another 2 years, especially as work has been underway on site for over 5 years. However, the work that has taken place so far has been to prepare the huge 70 hectare site for construction. It's difficult to portray the sheer scale of the site from the ground, and even the drone shots, kindly provided by HS2 Limited, don't quite convey how enormous the site is. The scale of the site and its previous industrial use provided a particular challenge for Balfour Beatty Vinci JV, whose job it was to reclaim the site. The various factories which populated the site over the decades have had several uses, from the production of Morris miners to the more recent manufacture of the Class 390 Pendolinos. I'm sure there are people who are better able to provide a more in-depth history of the site than myself. Needless to say, over 100 years of industrial use have left the site heavily contaminated. Therefore, not only did BBVJV have to demolish a large number of buildings, they were also responsible for decontaminating the ground. BBV worked with Duo Group and Jackson Remediation to develop a strategy for the safe remediation of the contaminated material without transporting it off-site by road, or disposing of it in landfill. Instead, a number of methods were used to decontaminate the material before reusing it to level the site in readiness for the eventual construction of the depot. In some places, this involved excavating 7 metres down to ensure that all of the contaminated material was processed, and not just the very top layer. So, while it may appear that very little has been achieved over the last 5 years, I hope that people can appreciate what a monumental task it has been just to get to this stage. The Washwood Heath site is also home to the Bromford Tunnel Portal and retained cutting. Delivery of the structure, which is 25 metres deep at its deepest point and almost 1 kilometre long, was also the responsibility of BBV. The last of the 2 TBMs used to construct the twin-bore Bromford Tunnel broke through the tunnel portal in October last year. Since then, the TBMs have been dismantled and removed, and the retained cutting has largely been completed. BBVJV will remain on the Washwood Heath site to complete the final construction of the tunnel and continue with the construction of the mainline section from the retained cutting towards Birmingham. The main depot site is now mostly prepared for construction to commence. Therefore, although construction won't start for another 2 years, the process should be relatively straightforward, as TWA have been left with a level blank canvas, so to speak. Although the site spans some 70 hectares, the depot itself will only occupy around half of that. I say only, but at 30 hectares the depot could still be amongst one of the largest in the country. The remaining 50% will be sold to developers for warehousing and other light industry. It's expected that the depot and proposed developments will create around 1,000 permanent jobs. The work at Washwood Heath will therefore have a direct positive impact on what is considered a deprived area of Birmingham. Whether or not a private developer would have ever chosen to reclaim the site and pay for remediation is debatable, at least not without a sizable contribution from the West Midlands Combined Authority. So I think this goes to show the wider lasting benefits that HS2 will provide for the West Midlands. I hope you found this video informative. If you did, then please don't forget to give it a like, as it helps my content to get noticed. And lastly, I would like to thank HS2 Limited and BBVJV for inviting me onto the site.